The film opens with a recording of football player Mike Webster, showing him in real life during games and playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, just as the man talking in a meeting. In right now, September 2002, Mike is destitute and living in his vehicle, experiencing dementia. Nigerian pathologist Dr. Bennet Omalu is giving a declaration in court over a homicide case. Given his exploration, he establishes that the blood on the litigant's hands was not that of the casualties because the respondent is a hemophiliac and couldn't chance something for the probability of injury or passing. Bennet works at the coroner's office in Allegheny Province, where he has an odd propensity for addressing the parish so he can get a thought concerning what it is that killed them. He his companions working with Gracie, however, is estranged by Danny. Bennet likewise will in general expendable blades after being utilized once. He is called into the workplace of his chief, Dr. Cyril Wecht, over this. Bennet inquires as to whether he would like it, assuming Bennet cut his mom open with a similar blade he utilized on a chronic executioner. Cyril says okay, and that he would buy the request that he do as such. Bennet is approached to give care to a youthful outsider lady named Prima Motiso. He takes her to his home and offers her some cash, which she seems to see as hostile. Bennet discloses to her that it's alright to require cash and that it doesn't make her powerless. However, in America, some of the time it is important to counterfeit it to excel. Webster visits Dr. Julian Bales over his condition. He seems, by all accounts, to be deteriorating. Webster is visited at his vehicle by individual football player Justin Stolksike, Mathew Willig, who is likewise experiencing a comparable condition. Webster whines that he would rather not rest, so he is seen tasing himself to remain alert. He is subsequently seen as dead. Mike Webster's demise stuns the city. His body is gotten for Bennet to look at. He sees that Webster took out his teeth and superglued them back together. Bennet investigates Webster's mind and finds extreme head injury that prompted his psychological weakening. He draws this out into the open. Bennet assists his examination by concentrating on football recordings and seeing how many occasions somebody like Webster took genuine hits to the head. Bennet and Prima go through the night out and straightaway become hopelessly enamored. Bennet later proposes to her and they are hitched, and later are anticipating their first kid. Stolksike is seen prepared to assault his significant other and youngsters, guaranteeing that the voices in his mind are advising him to kill them. His significant other shouts at him to get out, and he drives away. He turns up dead, and one more football player, Terry Long, is accounted for to have kicked the bucket from drinking radiator fluid. Bennet analyzes them also and presumes that the men experienced CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. He presents his examination to Dr. Stephen Dukoski and Dr. Ron Hamilton, who hesitantly concur with him. After news of this spreads, it is accepted that Bennet is attempting to disgrace football, acquiring him various adversaries. He is told to withdraw his explanations, saying that he imagined everything to hurt the NFL's notoriety. He does, be that as it may, get support from Julian, who distances himself from the NFL's activities. In the interim, Dave Dourson, Adewale Akinnuoye Agbaje, is drawn nearer by individual player Andre Waters. Waters is experiencing a state of mind too and asks Dourson to help him, however, Dourson leaves him and leaves. Waters is subsequently observed dead from a self-caused shot injury to the head. One evening at a cafe, Bennet and Julian meet with Dr. Joseph Maroon over the matter. He reprimands Bennet and thinks he is attempting to obliterate football, even though Bennet persistently encourages him to come clean that could keep other football players from experiencing comparable destinies to the as of late withdrawn. Roger Goodell is made the new chief of the NFL. Bennet is called upon to talk at a culmination of the blackout. In any case, Julian later lets him know that they don't need Bennet to talk, yet rather for Julian to talk, since he was the NFL's neurological specialist, driving the two men to struggle. Moreover, two degenerate FBI specialists make an appearance to Bennett's responsibility to arraign Cyril on various charges for supporting Bennett's work, while likewise coming for Bennet by taking steps to extradite him back to Nigeria. Bennet concludes he should leave and search for work in another state. Prima is driving without anyone else when she feels that somebody is following her. She makes a reroute and loses the vehicle, yet she encounters an issue. She is taken to the medical clinic and joined by Bennet, where they are informed that the specialist can't track down a heartbeat from the child. After Bennet is compelled to sell his home, he separates, feeling absolutely crushed. After 3 years, Bennet and Prima are living in Lodi, California with their little girl. Bennet is called by Julian when Dave Dourson ends it all and mentioned that his mind is inspected. Bennet talks before a gathering on his examination, while likewise at the same time appreciating the game of football. Discusses CTE start moving through the nation, igniting correlations between tobacco organizations and their disavowal of the connections between their items and awful well-being. Bennet is reclaimed, and he's extended to an employment opportunity in Washington, D.C. In the last scene, he later drives by a school during football training and looks as two players run straight on into one another. The last text expresses that Bennet Omalu turned down the Washington work and stayed in California with Prima Mutiso and their two youngsters. Different resigned NFL players recorded claims against the NFL for hiding data on concussed football players. The NFL chose the condition that it would not need to unveil that it knew, and when, on the impacts of blackout on football players. It was subsequently resolved that 28% of football players have or will experience the ill effects of CTE. All charges against Cyril Wecht were dropped. In February 2015, Bennet Omalu authoritatively turned into a U.S. resident. To watch more video like this, click on the videos on your screen, and don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last I will say stay safe and stay healthy. See you next videos.